Well, good evening, great evening, and a happy new year to everybody. We are super duper happy that you would join us this evening. I'm super excited as we are on week number 4 with Dr. Behave. Uh, as you all have noticed and have become familiar with, we are on a serious momentum, really to put hands into the community, to really set out some reach that is different, that will assist folks in discovering how to navigate through number one, being a parent of a special needs child, a disabled child, a child that's dealing with autism and or learning disabilities, teaching parents their rights, and so many more things with none other than Dr. Zoee Bartholomew. Hey, Zoe.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Welcome, and Happy New Year. If you've not done so, listen, I'd encourage you to start a watch party, to invite a friend, to tag a friend, to share with a friend. If you know somebody that is in need of assistance as they navigate this thing called loving and parenting and nurturing and caring for our needs community, I want to encourage, implore you, I want to invite you to share, start a watch party. If you know somebody that's not necessarily on Facebook, please, ma'am, please, sir, don't hesitate to invite them to go to YouTube. They're going to go to Increase Me TV. Increase Me TV, and you'll be able to find us on YouTube there. If you have not already known, this is another increase moment, and it is my absolute great pleasure to start this year off with such an important discussion, such a very, very poignant, a relevant, and a necessary conversation surrounding special needs and special needs communities. Thank God for the opportunity, number one, to even navigate this discussion, to be able to bring you guys into a different place, to invite you and to invite those that you love and you are concerned for to get quality care. One of the things that I learned, even while my grandmother was ailing, is quality of life. And quality of life usually comes from having the necessary information to navigate through these trying times. And as it is the precipice, day one of 2021, we mean to get this information in your hands. And so, again, I'd invite you, I'd encourage you, I'd implore you to share this thread, share this live, tag a friend, make a comment, let us know where you are chiming in from. If you're watching us on Periscope or Facebook, let us know. We want to welcome you and thank you for joining the discussion. Now, again, this is week 4. We've talked about the power of IEPs and 5 4s. If you've not done so, I would also encourage you to jump on over to the ZMB Consulting page on Facebook. Make sure you like it so you can stay connected. If y'all missed it on the 30th, that was this past Wednesday, Dr. Zoee Bartholomew was joined with the one and only Clark sisters, but hosted by Miss Faith Evans. It was an amazing interview. He did her thing, and she is an expert among experts. And again, this is week 4 of this discussion. I know this is a whole bunch of infomercials prior to, but because we want to get the information in your hands, I think that it's good that I consistently share what is going to empower you to empower yourself, to assist your loved one. We are launching university in just 3 short weeks. In just 3 weeks, you guys are in for a major treat of some impartation of some information that will probably revolutionize your life as it relates to special needs, special education with disabilities, and or adults with disabilities. not only that, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are an educational entrepreneur, listen, this chick, all I can say is she's gangster. She does what she does, and she does it well. We want to invite you to become part of a very proactive community that surrounds parents, friends, loved ones, and educators with the necessary. It's called Behave University. It is in the makings, even as I speak. Zoe, what's up? I didn't say it all. I'm going to say before we get started into this effectively navigate transitions. 2021. How are you? And Happy New Year to you, sis. It's great to see you as
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing well. I had a very relaxing day.
listen, you sound more chill than me, and that's kind of hard because I'm on extra chill mode
All right.
right now.
Uh-huh.
But I could not forsake this conversation, only
Okay.
because a lot at stake. We certainly want to help you get and dig your feet into the process. We've talked about so much over the last several weeks, and this week, only because today I know everybody is kind of probably in chill mode. Don't forget, you can always watch the replay at ZMB Consulting. You can also make a one-on-one appointment with Dr. Behave. And you can also follow her at Dr. Behave on all social media platforms. I made sure that that's possible. But you can always go to Calendly /Behave to make an appointment to have your one-on-one consultation. So Zoe, week's discussion and or dialogue surrounds transitions. According to your professional knowledge, but even your knowledge as an educator, knowledge as a doctor of education, what would you say transitions do as it relates to our specialty? How does it impact them?
It can have its pros and its cons. So what I would say is with anyone, transitions can be difficult or they can be smooth. And it's all about the preparation and planning that goes into that. So for that piece, for our community and the special needs community, there needs to be a lot of instruction, a lot of prompting, a lot of preparation for any type of transition. And there's different types of transitions. It could be something as simple as going to a new classroom, or as we've already been dealing with the fact that most of our students are at home right now and being online. That was a huge transition. That was totally different. And it just really disrupted the home environment and that child's basically their life as they saw it has basically been turned upside down.
I would absolutely agree with the and and really trying to navigate that. Can you tell me some of the symptoms of an ineffective transition?
Symptoms, I would say you would definitely want to pay attention to
Mm,
different behaviors that may happen. So for younger children and some older children with disabilities, they may have tantrum behaviors, all the way up to becoming aggressive. But all in the form of letting you know they're
mm.
communicating, I don't want to do this. I don't want to engage in this transition. So that's why it's very important to prepare. And how you prepare is we forget sometimes to do simple things of just communicating with your child. Sometimes we think they're a child, so I don't have to tell them everything. I'm the adult. But no, it's important to inform and let them know what's going on.
So when I say symptoms, and I absolutely agree with transition for just everyday living is difficult. But the reality is this pandemic was unannounced. it did not give us a bunch of planning or preparation time. It didn't give us a bunch of
Right.
room to actually execute, I think, the way that most people would in the event of an informed threat. Right.
Right.
This pandemic was not only tumultuous but intrusive.
Yeah.
Right. And so there are parents right this second that I am positive are dealing with the backlash of an unformed transition. Right.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that trying to navigate that is not the easiest thing. So say you have a parent whose child did not transition well through this pandemic
Right.
process. Um,
Right.
and they're having a hard time getting them back on track. What would be a suggestion, something that you could suggest that would help them to re-engage their child that is struggling with?
I lost that last part.
I, so if there is someone that's listening currently, and that
Uh-huh.
they are trying to get their child re-engaged after this uninformed disability, would you suggest to re-engage them, to reignite them, to restart? What would be something that would happen if you know you have a child that's really having a hard time with the distance learning, with the process in general? What would be some professional steps that you would suggest as an educator, but preferably as a special needs instructor or educator? What would be some of the things that would help them to help their child get re-engaged?
Well, it just depends because right now, each school district is running their own type of online system and online program. And I get various comments from parents all the time about how that's being run. And depending on the age group level, depending on, the school site itself, um, what happened is a lot of the students that were in SPED per se weren't accessing a lot of online systems. So to transition them into this online platform, it was a whole teachable moment. And so that has impacted them a lot. And then for now, what's happening is parents are now trying to figure out, how do I keep them engaged on being on camera when this is something they're totally not used to? How do I do these things? And what I've been saying, like I said in the last couple of sessions, is all you can do, parents, is really just try to get them to be online as much as possible. And when I say try, you're inviting them, you're letting them know, hey, your session starts at this time. It shouldn't be an argument, it shouldn't be a force about it. It should be, here it is. You're there to be a support, but you shouldn't have to lead the session. You have to let the educators on the other end online be able to do that. And I was just speaking to a parent this week about this, but you can actually set up a meeting with that's your child's team and actually say that I'm having struggles and issues with my child's ability of staying on camera and being engaged, and the team can help come up with a different plan. It's hard for me to give very specifics because
Mm,
each child is individual. So I don't know what gets their engagement. Is it something visual? Is it more auditory stuff? Do they need more movement? It just depends on each one. And guess what, parents? You're there with them. You're the expert, so you know what they need. So be open to have the meeting to say, this isn't working. This is what we need to do, and come up with a better plan on how to do it.
that's good. That's really that. I think you just gave a whole summation. For this is for the parent that feels powerless. This is for the parent that struggles to figure out how to plan, struggling to determine what to do next. The reality is you have a full team of support But unless you engage and activate that support system, you don't have it. It's not in place. And so it goes right back to a couple of the other discussions that we've had, where it says that you have to deploy the necessary help. You have to rethink your approach. I think that's been very poignant and extremely relevant in these consistent conversations that we have. Until a parent rethink the approach of how they will assist their child, will empower their child, you really are kind of helpless. You really are kind of by yourself. And so, me, just as a parent, um, of a child that has a health struggle, I am always trying to think of different ways and different things to do and to assist with the engagement and the process. And to be very honest, I've underutilized the services that are offered to me as a parent that struggles with a child that is dealing with a disability. So thank you for that. If there was someone that, there are people that are, and I hate to make it even about doom and gloom, but the reality is things
Right.
are happening, transitions are taking place, and whether or not whistle or watch the ball drop at the beginning of the year, people have lost employment. There are financial struggles that people are dealing with.
Mhm.
And in some cases, there are instances of transitions in housing. Um, are there resources for people with those type of struggles? And is there still assistance available as it relates to ensuring that the child gets suitable educational support and services?
Yes, every district has a plan set up in place for all the parents, whether they're in special ed or not. So this is a problem that we're seeing as far as re-engaging and getting kids to participate. It's across the board. So yes, there are resources available. Again, each district is different. It's based on what that child is needed. But the difference that I want to point out is the students that have an IEP, they specifically have certain services already listed on there that they can access. If they need additional things, again, this is where you have to come in and have this IEP meeting. Same thing happens with the 504 plan. You need to have this meeting to kind of go back and review what's happening. And so, bottom line is yes, there's resources that are available. There are also more to come. So, I've been seeing a lot of grant opportunities that are being put out by different counties that are trying to help provide what they're calling like some more mobile support. So, having some people actually come out to the homes to help, because we are seeing that students are not turning their camera on or not even participating in the online program. So, yes, there are resources available.
Yeah.
You just have to go to
Mhm.
your district in particular. And I would encourage you to actually go and visit your actual school site, because that school site will have specific information. And then for those that are in the special education community, you also need to be reminded for the other services you may have. So some families may have regional center services, so there's different supports that are available for families for that. Some may have in-home support
Mhm.
services. There's different services and supports and resources that have been available to that population as well. So again, each person has to go to that site. Again, I'm here to help you navigate. So just like I said on the show the other night, feel
Mhm.
free to contact me because I know how to get to that information quickly. So sometimes it just takes me a couple of clicks. I can send you the link to
Mhm.
wherever you need to go if you're getting stuck. But that's what I,
Mhm.
I do as well, as I kind of help steer parents to getting to where they need to go. I just helped a young lady with her child in Atlanta recently this week because she needed access to get some information for her child.
And so, even on the heels of said, this is not a local discussion. This is a global discussion. This conversation and even access to Bartholomew is not a regional or district associated. It is, she has global hands. Right. So that being said, no matter if you are here locally in the Bay Area or if you're in Maryland or DC or New York, where all have the connections, the relationships, the experience. If y'all saw this lady's resume, oh my God. Um, right. And I'm not saying that for any reason other than when you need help, you need help. Right. It does. I don't think anybody
Right.
cares where it comes from. I don't think people care what venue it travels from. But the reality is, if I
Right.
want to know about something technical, I talk to technical experts. I don't talk to customer service representatives. If I want to know
Right.
something about what will assist me in forging forward my child's education, I literally I have a Catherine Sullivan. Now this is a force too. Great to have you online. Thank you so much for jumping on. There are so many things that Zoe has her hands on, not in, on, right? That she has studied and become a SME on in to assist parents just like you that are watching with making sure that they navigate the tools, the resources, the necessary connections and relationships to ensure that you are getting quality care, quality service, but more importantly, that you are getting it from somebody that can actually assist you with the process, even in diagnosis stages, right? And so she because she's so familiar with the process, if you are a parent with a child that is dealing with special needs and or needs assistance in the process, listen, you don't have to do it alone. I don't know how many times I can say that. It is power in numbers. Right? There's power in numbers. Here on the screen, you'll notice all of Dr. Bartholomew's contact information. And you can really just reach her at calendly.com/Dr. Behave. There are multiple different categories that you can select to make time or schedule an event. If you aren't sure about how to get a diagnosis or how to get contacted with the necessary resources and groups to make sure your child is properly served, she can help you navigate through all of that. And outside of that, we are building a community to create peer support, to really establish relationships that'll help you to build things out, to get things situated in such a way that it'll take some of the pressure off of you. I am just kind of confident that in 2021 we are going to become more interdependent and not codependent, and not super independent, because that doesn't help people a lot of time. That's not the strongest suit. Dr. Zoe, listen, if you have someone right that is navigating a transition and they're having
Uh-huh.
difficulty as we to wrap everything up, what would you suggest for them?
Well, you have to first look at, what are you trying to gain? So most likely, because we're talking about, transitions. And so with transitions, like I already said, there requires prep and preparation and planning and writing a plan and really putting that out. But a part of that goes into like going back to the beginning of looking at what is the purpose of this transition and which type of transition it is. You know, if there's a safety concern, that's something that you have to deal with immediately. If it's something that, can be taken out over time, that's something that you could put together. But overall, when it comes to transitions, the biggest thing that I've seen is people aren't ready for them and they're just thrown into it, almost as if it's a crisis situation. And yes, this pandemic has become a crisis situation, but at the same time, we still need to talk about it. We have to prepare our children about it. We have to talk to them about it. We have to have this plan and actually working it with them, and we have to model that for them as well. And so, with that said, your transitions could take a different turn, meaning they don't have to be so difficult. I think sometimes we choose to make things a little bit more complicated unnecessarily, not realizing we have choices and we can make this transition a lot simpler just by preparing and planning. So even if you did just get word like what happened to all of us with this pandemic, it was like, hey, school's shutting down, you need to go home. A discussion should have taken place at that point, and then discussion should have continued taking place throughout this process. So even now here in
Mhm.
California, we had to go back on a tier. I'm hoping my family sat down with the children again to say, hey, we're not out of the woods yet. We are still in this pandemic. We have to stay safe. So we're back at home again. And especially for those students that actually may have returned to campus and now have to come back home. So it's okay to have the conversation, and you can use plain, clear, simple language for kids. I know that on California's COVID site, they have different visuals. So you can use those visuals for the children to see like how to wash hands, what COVID looks like. They've provided lots of different things on that level. The same thing has happened with this whole online learning platform. So that's why I'm saying you have to go to your district site, you have to go to your school site, because they prepared lots of fact sheets and materials and information for you guys, but you have to go out and access them. So some stuff may come to you directly, but not
Mhm.
everything.
Got it. Got it.
Yep.
That makes total sense. You said something last week that I think that I want to reiterate as we begin to wind things down. You have to participate in your child or your the per force resilience in this process. It is necessary for you to take action. And that's something that you said, I think that has stuck with me. And for still in the guessing process, you're not really sure if your child will qualify for special needs modifications and or uh, amenities. There are different things that come with an actual formal diagnosis. It's really important that you seek a formal assessment, and then in that process that acceptance is, okay, my child is experiencing some trauma from transitions that I did not, or I didn't really need to navigate through. Effectiveness comes from a proper study of a thing, and it also comes from having the right support system surround you. And so I want to implore you and absolutely want to admonish you to become part of this community. You'll see it is called Behave University. You can just search it in the Facebook search box. Just part of a proactive community that is dedicated to assisting you with navigating through these difficult times, because just because today is January 1st does not mean that we are out of the woods. It does not mean that things will just return back to normal. It does not mean that. It means that you have to do the necessary work. Actually have to be engaged. You have to participate in yours and your child's success. Now, real quick, just because it's on my mind, again, I want you to take time to follow the ZMB Consulting page. In doing that, you'll have access to an exclusive interview that was done with Dr. Bartholomew on Faith Evans' professional platform. the none other Clark sisters. You also probably want to access Dr. Behave's book, and there is a Scantron. There's a QR code you can actually use right from your computer. You can download it as well and go directly to her website. Order the book for yourself and for your family. It is called Behave, and it's written in very, very plain, simple English. That is for your benefit. And more than anything, if you've not done so, as a parent, and you are dealing with a child that is struggling, listen, if you're looking for effective assistance, this is the woman for the job. And again, her name, Dr. Zoee Bartholomew. You can Google her. How about that? And you'll get results. That's always. So that being said, Dr. Bartholomew, do you have anything else to share with the people before we wrap it up for day one of 2021 right here in the Increase? What you got to say before we wrap it up?
I would just say that, this whole year has been a transition for everyone. And as we're moving into this new year, I know everyone wants to have a level of normalcy again. But I would encourage you just to pay attention to, in your area, look at those numbers, make sure you're staying safe. Safety is always important. So even in the work that I do, I can't stress that enough. Safety comes first. And so, yes, we're anxious to get back to how things used to be, but I think we need to start preparing and planning for the new norm. So the new norm may be that we are wearing masks and we are still staying 6 feet apart and so on for quite some time. Along with the fact that I want you guys to be patient with the school system, because yes, they would like students to return too, but they also are thinking of safety, and many schools haven't even been designed to have a small number of students in a space. We already have overcrowded classrooms and so on. So what I would encourage you to do is to just continue to be patient, continue to watch what's happening in your area, because the numbers are different in every single state, county. Here in California, we're not doing well. So we really need to be mindful of that. Again, this is a transition right now. So we're moving into this new year and everyone wants that norm, but I'm telling you, create a new norm. Let your children know this is the new norm. This is what we're doing for today. We don't know what tomorrow brings, but today we know what we have to do. So I hope that helps some of you guys.
Yes.
And again, reach out to me if you need support on navigating to different resources available. I can help you with that.
Very good. Very good. Absolutely, absolutely good. Thank you, Lena. Hi, sister. That's my sister right there. I had loved it, her. Hi, Todd. Can't kiss him. It is always refreshing to know that you have hands on deck and people really do care, and that it really does matter for, and the fact that this is your life work, Zoe, is refreshing. Again, I say very frequently, I'm very honored to serve you. It is my absolute pleasure. If you know anything about me, I'm a lover of people, but I say frequently, it takes a very special heart to be blessed to be the one that has access to care for our special needs community. And so, that being said, listen, I am grateful for all of you that have joined us. Tonight's traffic was great. If this conversation empowered you, encouraged, inspired you in some sort of a way, please, ma'am, please, sir, don't hesitate to share it, to tag a friend, to invite someone to community that is being built so that we can wrap our arms around you in such a way that it helps you to help yourself and to help your child that is in need. With that being said, once again, listen, happy new year. And we are excited about what this year looks like for you and for your one. Zoe, you want to tell the people anything before we bounce?
Just try to enjoy yourselves. I know you guys are having, you're heading into the weekends. You may be off work. Take the time to rest and relax. Take care of yourself. Have fun with your children and just get ready to, plan for that next whatever's yet to come. We don't know. So let's just work together.
Absolutely. 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 Well, listen, this has been another Increased Media Moment. You're here with Dr. Zoe Bartholomew. I want to encourage you once again. Join the community, Behave University. It is just a group of people who are dedicated to being peer support, peer help, where many things are discussed that aren't just discussed in common stream or mainstream. And we want to make sure that you are armed in 2021 with the necessary provisions, the necessary things to keep your child in a place of prosperity, in a place of progress. My name is Dion. They call me the Radical Midwife. It has been my pleasure to be your host for this evening. This is Dr. Zoe Bartholomew. If you've not done so, go ahead, make sure you follow her at Dr. Behave. Visit the website, drbehave.org, or visit drzoebartholomew.com. Make sure that you stay connected, and we will see you next Friday. Same bat station, same bat time. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have an amazing, amazing evening. Bye, guys.